Good afternoon, Tony Dattino, founder of the USA Memory Championship and president of Dattino Consulting. As you can see, it's a little bit chilly here. I am still here in New York. We got an update this morning on the eye surgery that Evelyn had had, and she needs a little bit more time in terms of recovery to make sure that this bubble that the doctor, this gas bubble he puts in to close the site of the retina and the hole that was in it, he feels that she needs a little bit more time keeping her head down with a bubble to see if it closes the hole. He's very pleased with it, but the good or the bad is I'm still here in New York, as you can tell, not on my way back to Florida. And we'll be dealing with the cold, snow, ice, and whatever else they're talking about. And my worst part of it is shoveling snow tomorrow. So we are in the 6 to maybe 9 inches of snow zone. I'm going to hope for rain and let it go wash away. But in any case, I'm here, and I wanted to talk about the progress we're making on the National Science Foundation grant that Michael Dattino is working on. And this is where he's been teaching a group of students in segments of 5 over the last 3 years at Columbia University. And the progress has been fantastic. And so the neuroscience team at Columbia has been really thrilled with the progress he's made. What he's been doing is teaching them some of the memory systems that are in his online course, Maximum Memory Mastery. So they reviewed that course prior to the study, accepted that as a viable teaching, and then have asked him to do the personal teaching of it on Zoom. So he's taken and lifted one of the modules out of there on the loci Roman room method, as we may call it, and he's lifted that, and this is what he's been teaching students over the last 2.5 years. Well, they're at the point now where that has been so successful that they wanted at least to go out and pick up 20 people that have practiced memory skills, have been in the memory championship, and what they want to do is match to see what their brains look like, and if there's any changes that have taken place in theirs that are more permanent versus the students. And so it's an interesting comparison that they're making with if you've taught somebody a mnemonic technique and or they continue to apply those mnemonic techniques over a period of years, is there a noticeable change that takes place in their brains? This is exciting to them. It's exciting to MIT and Princeton and Rutgers, who are all part of the board that are reviewing and looking at the results of this to really make sure it's the right scientific study. And Michael Dattino, as I've said, has taken material from the Maximum Memory Mastery online, and this is what he's been using to get these students through these drills. And he's got one more group to go to finish up the groups, and maybe one more after that. So it'll be into his 3rd year of the study. And then the comparisons come. So now we're getting feedback from people who, when being invited to Columbia to spend a couple of days there, they get to spend a night in New York City, which Columbia will accommodate for them, give them a bit of a stipend, and then put them through a series of similar drills and see if somebody who has practiced mnemonic training and techniques for more than 2 years, is there a difference in their brain versus these students that learn it and then they go into this and then come out. So it's a fascinating study. It certainly is very methodical and systemic. It obviously in the science world has to be very, very particular and very specific in it. And it's been excellent, and the feedback so far has been outstanding. A second thing he does do is he does some teaching of names and faces. So there are some things. One of the most important things that people want to know in the world of memory training is, can you teach me how to remember people's names and or faces? I've had over the years so many executives and organizations and my business clients come to me and ask me, is there some way you can teach me how to remember somebody's name and match it to their face? I would love to be able to walk through a floor or meet people that I've seen before and just remember their name or face, their name with their face. And then what's amazing to me is when that's happened, employees just go, wow, I can't believe the president or the vice president just walked by my office or walked by me and saw me in the hall or saw me in the cafeteria, and they actually remembered my name. Wow, that's really special. And so that's from an employee perspective. So learning how to remember people's names and faces is something, as I've seen on the books that you make a peek of on my bookshelf, has talked about and is taught and is the second part of what Michael is doing in this study. And again, it's a module that's in the Maximum Memory Mastery online course. So we're making some really great strides of progress. Good things are happening in terms of the students. So one of the things they've been doing is talking to the students who, however, they've decided to be a part of this, I think, groundbreaking study, have been enthusiastic, have been equally excited to be a part of it. And they're coming up with really, really good feedback and really great results on their pre and post scans. And the other thing that's important about it is that they're proving to themselves that when they first start, without any training or without using any techniques, and this is for the randomness of it, they are quadrupling their performance. In fact, in many cases, they're going 5 times over what they've initially thought they were able to do, and being able to remember a list of words using the loci method of retention and recall. And so from their own personal point of view, some of the students are finding this is a great way for them to help improve their study and help read text pages and retain the text pages beyond just, I'm going to take a test this week and hopefully pass it, and that's the end of it, and I forget this stuff forever and ever. So they're finding that learning some of the skills that Michael has been teaching them are not just for purposes of this study. In fact, they're beginning to realize that some of these skills can be utilized in in their coursework, certainly in their college curriculum, and they're seeing a very practical utilization of it in other areas of their life. And that's what this is all about. You know, the memory competition, the USA Memory Championship, which we've done for 23 years, is not just for the sake of showing people, nerdy people who just decided to study and practice for a memory championship, but that they've all brought some knowledge with them and some skills that they've increased and developed that can be used in other areas in their life. So who can't use the remembrance of names and faces of people that you're meeting and be able to greet and build social interaction? One of the fundamentals of social interaction. How do I remember somebody's name that I've met, so that when I meet them again, I'm not embarrassed, or I don't want to run away from them because I don't remember their name, and I hope they don't remember mine, so we equally can forget one another's names. So there's some of the silly things that you see people go through and people deal with. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the work that Michael's been doing, the fact that we have online courses, and then an article that I was looking at on 10 things that we need to do to maintain brain health that are now scientifically proven. So the words are, hey, these are things scientifically proven. And the social interaction just keeps coming out over and over again. And what better way, what better way is there for us to improve social interaction than kind of be the smart person that remembers the most names and faces of people that we meet? And I always remember years ago, we had friends that on an annual basis we went to their Christmas party, right? Their dinner for Christmas party. And I always made a point of remembering at least 3 to 5 names of people I was meeting at the party, and then something about them. So if I saw them in a subsequent year, I had their name and I had a couple of key facts, and people would look at me and, oh yeah, he's the guy that founded the Memory Championship, and they automatically assume that I've got this innate ability to do this and don't realize that I have to practice at it just as most people do. It's not innate. It's not just a natural, I have it versus I didn't, and you missed it and I got it. It's really practicing the skills that we teach to other people on how do you go about focusing, retaining information, and putting it into long-term memory for use. I think we're on the cusp of some really exciting work. I think we've got tools, and we've got now some online courses that we can offer to people. And we're seeing more and more people begin to believe that they can improve their memories regardless of age. And to me, that's what this is all about. Anyone can improve their memory, given, first of all, the belief that you can improve it, and that it's not the genes that you were born with and the ones that you lost out on. If you're willing to learn what those skills are, so take some lessons or read a book or take an online course, then if you're willing to practice those skills and apply them and use them, and then give yourself benchmark. Hey, this is where I was, this is where I am, and this is the progress I'm making. I think it's great, and I think we're doing some great work. And so today has been my Columbia University day in terms of checking out emails and progress that people are making, and the good work that's coming out of the studies that Michael and the neuroscience teams are making. All right, it's Monday already. We got some snow coming tonight here into the Westchester County area, and we shall see you again here on Wednesday. Have a good week.